anything, and I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about wigs. As some of you know, I have been wearing wigs now for about 3 years, and I've really come to understand the wigs that I've been wearing and have found some tips and tricks for wearing them and actually cutting them and styling them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Uh, the wig that I'm going to be working on is this one. This is actually my favorite wig. And I am beginning to sell wigs. So if you are interested in purchasing this one or the one that I'm actually wearing right now, they will be on my Poshmark site and I will link that below or on my page. And so this is a new one that I've recently discovered. Um, and have been working on, and it is so beautiful. The waterfall kind of waves, very long. You That's what we're doing right now. We're going to be doing some cutting and styling, and this one. So when I say styling, what I normally do is I kind of curl, make some curtain bangs. I usually cut in a layered fashion on the sides just so it kind of matches up with my hair. So when I'm wearing a wig, I don't glue down the lace. What I do is I use my natural hair in with the wig so that it blends in, and you can kind of see right here. So this is my natural hair right here. I'm pulling on my natural hair, and that is the wig. You can kind of see where it pulls up and it blends right in. So what I normally do is the wigs that I purchase, as you can see, are rooted, and my natural hair luckily has been very close to most of the wigs that I pick out, the root that they have in them. So like this one um, matches pretty good too. And I know that it blends in really well. And so when you're picking out a wig, the root is really going to determine whether, well, if you're going to be using and pulling your hair out, the root should match your hair. If you're going to be gluing, that's you can wear whatever color that you want. I think that's a benefit in that if you're going to be gluing, or if you don't have any natural hair to pull out, doing the gluing is the best method, and then you don't have to worry about the root. But for me, I'm not good at gluing. I tried it in the beginning and it just didn't work for me. And I decided to pull out my natural hair. And when I did that, I found that a lot of the wigs that I liked matched my natural hair anyways. So here's a better look at this wig. I love it because it has the money pieces in the front. And as you can see, I wear blonde. I'm a blonde. At heart, tell people I identify as a long blonde because my natural hair, you can see it's a very light brown, but it has a lot of reddish tint to it. And it's about up to here. So backstory on my hair and kind of my story on wearing wigs is that I've always done my own hair, my own highlights, and I used a lot of bleach. And the last time that I bleached my hair, I was going for a platinum, which I had never done before. And I ended up burning a lot of my hair off. I burned the entire perimeter of my hair, and I went back to my natural hair color, and I decided to give the wigs a try. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. So my hair is my full natural hair color, and it's grown to about my shoulder length now. So, and it's really healthy. So when I do wear my natural hair, which to be honest isn't that often, just because I love the simplicity of these wigs. I love the color of these wigs, and it's so much easier. I wash my hair about once a week and I throw on a wig and I'm done. As long as I have a wig on and some lashes, I feel gorgeous. I don't even have to wear makeup. I mean, right now I'm wearing a little bit of gloss. That's it. And I feel comfortable. And it just makes my life a whole lot easier. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, this wig is 24 inches. The density is about 120 grams. It's pretty full. It's so pretty. It's so silky. And it's a lot of fun to wear. So this is like my everyday wig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this guy right here. And I'm going to leave the lace on for you guys so you can see with the lace and without lace what it'll look like. So I'm going to put her on there. I can even pull out a little bit so you guys can see me a little bit better. So there she is. And there's the back of her. It's already layered, but I like to face frame it with my layers that are in my hair so it blends evenly. And you can honestly, you can cut the lace, wear and go with this wig. The only other thing that I would suggest is putting some volume in the roots so that it's just not so flat and laying against your hair like I do here. This is all volume that I've added because it was similar to this, just very flat. And I part my hair side. I know the middle's supposed to be better or more in style these days. I just can't help it. I really love that like old Hollywood style glam where like this as much volume as I can get. That's what I like. So this is all volume that I've put in there. And you kind of see if I wanted to, I could wear my hair up. In the back, not so much. Like if I'm going to do a little pony, I could do a bun back there. Or I could even, at this point, I could pull some of my hair out in the back if I really did want to put it up. But I don't mess with it that much. I love it down. I think it looks so pretty. I've had so many people ask me about my hair, and I just can't help but tell them it's a wig. And they're like, most of them are like, oh my gosh, I cannot understand how that, I couldn't even tell it was a wig. So I love that. And I love helping people if they're having issues with their hair. It's just, it's an option that a lot of people don't think about, or they don't think that they can um, pull it off. And I think that more people can pull it off than they think. But yeah, okay, so let's get started. This thing, like I said, is completely flat. And, it's whatever your preference is. If you like it like real sleek and flat, it's totally up to you. Like I said, I like to put volume in it, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off with some clean scissors. And you want to make sure that they're nice and sharp. Pull my trash can over here. And what I like to do is to just, we're going to cut and we're going to like kind of feather it down. Um, that way it has those layers. And I like to comb my fingers through my hair, kind of like when you naturally do with your regular hair. I kind of go like that to either give it more volume or whatnot. I love to play with the top of my hair. I know it's annoying, but what I don't like is when my hair gets caught, because most of these are the same length. Because when they put the hair on a wig, it's going to be all the same length, but your natural hair grows at different times, so your hair is all different lengths, and that's why your hands can kind of glide through very easy. But when you're wearing a wig, it's not going to do that because it's all one length, and it's going to try to grab all this one length pieces, and it's going to get tangled. So um so what I like to do when you cut the layers in, um it's going to help with that pull. It's going to help you be able to naturally play with your hair or whatever, flip it. um it's going to help it glide through easier, and it is going to give some more when I'm talking, somebody made a comment, volume, lol, your hair is flat. uh it's not as flat as this. I'm just comparing it to the wig where it's very flat. um my hair, I mean, you could say it's flat. It has a lot more volume than that. Or like I said, you can pull it just that way. It's not really, there's like absolutely no volume in that. So that's what I'm comparing it to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut some pieces so you can see. I'm going to probably I'm going to do this side right here. So what I'll normally do is these wigs, the way the wefts are glued in, You can kind of feel them. And so I'll kind of pull that very first layer. Let me get that bang in there. Okay. So I'll pull that you can see it's like a very first layer of hair. And I'll just take my scissors and you're going to want to go downward. And let me flip this around. You want your thumb, some people don't know this, the thumb in the one with this extra part on here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to take my fingers. I'm going to make it so this is horizontal. So when I cut, it's going to go down. And I'm going to start about where my bangs normally are, maybe a little longer, and then I can touch them up when I put the wig on. So go ahead and cut down like this and just go all the way down to the end. And then I'm going to take a look at it and see. What I like to do is just make it, I like kind of like the curtain bang look. So I really want to make sure that this whole thing right here is kind of like blended in, but a lot shorter. Kind of like if you were to pull them forward, this whole portion would be, let's see if I can do this whole forward is gonna kind of be like curtain bang if you pull them forward. Okay, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna bring it up again, that same layer of hair. And I'm gonna go ahead and go through again. And then you're gonna start to see that layer coming this way down, and it's just gonna start making those face framing, like curtain bang kind of cuts. And okay, so somebody said the ones worth wearing. I'm telling you, these ones are worth wearing and they're not expensive. I saw these for $100 online. They're amazing quality. You can wash them. The curls will remain there. I know a lot of people talk about human hairs versus synthetic wigs, and I've had both. I will be honest with you when I say I prefer synthetic. And the reason for that is because they're easier to style. The style remains in them, and it's a lot less hassle and less delicate than the human hair wigs. The human hair wigs you have to be very gentle with. I feel like they get tangled easier. Really just getting used to the synthetic wigs and knowing how to style them, and that's why I'm creating this video, is that so that you can learn to style them, because hard. So these pieces have fallen forward, and then I'm going to just continue to a little bit. That's a little thick right there. I don't want to. Okay, that forward, and I can kind of see where. Okay. So you can really see where that begins to like curl back right there. That nice shape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And let's see if you can see. There you go. So you can see, I don't think I talked about this when I started, but you definitely want to brush through the wig and make sure there's no tangles or anything in there. And this one, I mean, it's brand new out of the bag, so it doesn't have any tangles in it yet. Oh, it's so pretty. I love a brand new wig. The feel of a brand new wig. And that feeling does kind of go away, but there are methods to make it that feeling last longer. And I can show you guys that on another video using a really old wig. I have some really old wigs that, with the right tools, you can bring them back to life, and you can really use a wig as long as you take care of it and you know the methods. You can bring a wig back to life time and time again. All right, so we're going to start off that. This is the front of that. that part. I'm gonna go ahead and start making that downward motion here, all the way down. Just like to put that in. All right, let's try. So I'm going to let that front part kind of fall, which is the very first part is right there. I'm going to let it fall, and then I'm going to continue cutting. Somebody said, hey, hey, Alex. She said, Diva, you're so funny. I love you. I miss you, girl. All right, so we're going to continue to cut down again in that feathering motion. And then we're going to start to see that kind of curve right there. I'm going to grab it. We're going to let the ones fall that I already cut. And we're going to continue to do that feathering motion all the way down until we're satisfied with that curve. And we can always touch up once we put the wig on, and I'll show you again how to blend it with your hair, or if you're going to be wearing a glueless and glue it in, you can always do that. All right. So you can see that curve starting to happen right here. Pull that back a little bit so you can see it better. It's coming. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my hair. It looks like it's a little bit thicker on the other side, so just keep doing that until you're happy with where the bang is. Let me cut a little bit more. Okay, let's see. And the other good thing is that these wigs are not that expensive, so if you happen to mess up, you're not wasting $1,000, because I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and you're not going to be perfect at this the first time you do it. So my suggestion is always to start with longer pieces and go shorter as you go, because if you start doing long pieces off the bat, cutting longer pieces off, you're really gonna risk cutting them too short, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so you can really start seeing that bend. You see the bends right there. This one is still looking a little long. Grab it. Take my scissors. You can probably see here a little bit better too. Let's continue down. Okay. All right. And so that's the face framing parts. And then what I like to do is I kind of like to do the same method throughout the rest of the wig. And that's so that you'll have those different one, if the wig is too dense for you, this will really thin it out for you. And then two, like I said, it'll help you be able to run your fingers through your hair without them getting stuck because of the layers all being the same length. So what I'll do is I'll just take some random pieces, and I'll take my scissors downward angled with the thumb on the bottom, and then flipping it and just going down and following it all the way down. And I'll just do that throughout the wig. I'll do some top pieces. And you can't really see them. It's not going to be real noticeable. You see, you can't really see any cuts in there. But like I said, it will thin the hair out, and it will give it some more movement, and it'll make it easier to comb through. So again, I'll just take one and go all the way down. It's such an easy method to thin the hair out. Okay. I also like to do some on the underneath. If you're a wig wearer, you know that under here can get very tangly because it's hitting the nape of your neck. And if you're wearing a collar or anything else, it gets super, super tangly under there. So one of the ways that I found to manage that is to also cut a few layers underneath. So you can pull a piece from underneath and do the same thing. Just cut a few, work your way down. It's not really, you can't really see it. You're not going to notice it, but you're going to feel the difference when you run your fingers through your hair. And that's going to make it feel more natural because, like I said, our hair grows at different lengths and different times. So that's kind of it for cutting it. That we did anything except for maybe those face framing pieces. Look how good. Okay, and then now we're going to add some volume to our wig. And I have worked with a ton of different tools. And I have two that I love the most. Actually, three. This is the Digitaire. Digitaire? I don't know, but it comes with a bunch of pieces. This is one that I really like. It blows air. So um, it's not going to damage your hair. It's kind of like, everybody's trying to copy the Dyson. So it's kind of like that. But I really like these bristles. It makes it easier to pull through the hair. And the size of it is really nice to make like barrel curls. If you're doing that. But the secret to styling wigs is really um, getting that heat up, keeping that curl or style in place until it completely cools off. Once it completely cools off, that is what really holds the curl. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of volume in this wig. And I'm going to show you how. So we're going to work right here on these edges. I'm going to turn it all the way hot. And we're going to take it just like that. You keep it real hot, and then you turn it to the cool edge. You just leave it there for 30 seconds. And look at that already. You guys see that? It's not a lot, but it's getting there. Okay, and another thing what you can do to get some volume, just like real up in the root, you can just stick it like that, right in there, like on the high heat again. And then we're going to turn it low. You can just put it there, just leave it in there for a little bit. And look how much volume that gave it, just that little bit. Okay. So you're gonna build it like that. So then we're gonna go down, we're gonna go to the side right here. Down high again. So curl. It's really gorgeous. See that? Then we're gonna do the other side. And we're gonna do it up in the front like that. I'm gonna get this in the full angle. So we put in that front there. It's cold. Okay. And then come on. You see that look there. And it's going to get better and better as we work with it. We're going to stick this here. We're going to put this on high. And we're going to put that right like that. And build that volume. And then we're going to turn it to cold. Leave there a few seconds. And another trick that you can do to get that volume is instead of holding it there, you can kind of flip it on the other side and do it like that. So that's gonna really like that's gonna build that volume. And then when you put it back, it's gonna have that like higher volume because it's been flipped over. So you can leave it there. And then we're gonna work on this one, this side right here. Hope you can see what I'm doing. We put it back on hot. Take it to cold. So this is really the tool that I like to use for my volume. And then I can show you the other tools that I like to use also. So that one's typically for volume. I love the Revlon, this big honking thing right here. I love it because it gets super, super, super hot. And I like to use this one if I'm trying to smooth out an entire wig and ensure that all the fibers are smooth and shiny again. This is what I'm going to use for that. And I know a lot of you guys are familiar with this tool. And then finally, the last tool that I really like to use for a number of different things. Oh, I forgot my, oh, we'll do it right now. Another trick that I love to do. Is this one plugged in? Nope, this one's not plugged in, but this is the Shark version of the Dyson. I love it. This thing is really, really good. I know it's an investment piece because it is probably about $200, I think. But it's very, very useful. The curls come out beautiful in this. This type of tool for wigs is a must. You have to have the airflow. I wouldn't recommend any regular curling iron where the barrel heats up for wigs. I don't think it's beneficial. I don't think it's going to give you the curl or the lift that you like. Um, I just I haven't found that they really work. So this is my favorite for curls, and I'm going to show you a trick for some added volume. So what you're going to want to do is take your wig off, the little mannequin guy. Let me move some things here. Okay. So we're going to plug this this shark in. And for some extra volume, you want to grab it right here by the lace. Actually, you're going to hold it upside down where the lace is like that. You're going to take your shark on high and you're going to put the air right in that way. And you're going to put it so that it's getting all those fibers closest to the lace hot from from underneath. And you're going to blow it even into that lace. So I'll bring it for you. You want to blow it into the lace like that. Get it real hot. Get everything super, super hot. Inside, you're going to want to get it hot. Okay, and then we're going to shoot it with the cold air. Okay, this has a cold shot, so you're going to do this. Now we do all that with the cold air. So that's going to cool it down while it's like flipped over. So that's really going to help with some volume. And you're going to want to like, while it's still warm, kind of pull down on that hair. And that's going to give you a lot of volume. You can go in the back, stick your fingers really in there and just kind of pull down as it cools. As it cools, you want to pull down. Okay, I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute. And while we're letting that sit, I'm gonna take up this guy and we're gonna put her on. So I'm gonna hang this upside down so it keeps that volume as it's cooling. I'll set that right there. Okay, and then we'll take this off and I'll show you how I do my hair. So I know, not the prettiest look in the world, right? But you know what? This is what it is. So you can see my natural hair is not that, it's not bad. Like I have nice hair. And it's grown back a lot and it's actually super healthy. Just from not having to color it and not having to put it through all the services that blonde hair, when you do your hair and you want to be blonde, that's a lot of bleach to put in it. So when I start off doing a wig, I'll go ahead and I'll brush it out, which my hair's already been brushed today, so it's all right. And I get a pony. It's all hanging out there. Sorry, guys. All right. So I put it as low as I can, like super, super, super low at the nape of my neck, because that's gonna be what your wig grip is going to. It's going to help it from coming up, and that's going to keep your wig on. If you don't have hair, I know there are a few other types of wig grips that are out there. They have the silicone ones. Um, there are a few other options. I'm not especially familiar with them just because this is the method that I use that works the best for me. But I know if you don't have any hair to work with, there's other options. And that's probably, if you're going to be gluing it down, that's probably be keeping it in place too. So I usually pull my wig grip back. And if you don't know, for these wig grips, you have to get it so that when you rub your hands back, it's going against the velvet. So this is like a velvet wig grip. If you go forward, it's nice and smooth. And then if you go backwards, it kind of catches, and that's what the wig holds on to. So pull it really low so that's not going to fall off and that's on the hair really good. And then what I normally do is I take my pony and I clip it up here. Let me see if I have a little. There we go. Okay, I love these things. I got these from the Dollar Tree. These are the best things to keep your hair up. I'm going to show it to you in a second. But you can also order them from Amazon. It's kind of like a bobby pin, but they're like fatter and they have designs. And these really keep your hair up like this. So because you're going to want to pin it flat. So you don't want a lot of bulk is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I kind of stick it in there to my pony and it stays. And that's what we got. Okay, so we're going to grab this wig. And this wig did not come with the thick band. This one has the little bands. So it does have the gosh, what are these things called? The combs here, the sides, and yeah, so the sides and then the back. So what I normally do is I take this one and I put it as on the one that makes it the smallest as possible. I think maybe I have a small head, but so I clip them in so they're the smallest size. Okay, so it's kind of look like It's gonna look like that. They're on the smallest ones under the comb. Okay. And then to put it on, you go ahead and what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your forehead into that lace and then pull the back over and under your ponytail or your wig grip. Okay. So you're gonna stick it in. You're gonna take this. I don't know if you can see it, but you're gonna pull it all the way over. And to be honest, and then flip it. I don't use the combs. Um, I don't feel like it's necessary with the the wig grip that I use. Okay. So you want to pull it so that you cannot see the wig grip, which I can see it. Okay. So there it is. If you're going to wear this and glue it down, um, you can go ahead and do that. It has a really nice hairline. Uh, Let me see if I can push this wig grip back so that you don't look at that. Look at that curl right there. That's what we cut, and that's the shape that I like. I just think it's really pretty, very natural looking. And then here's the other side. There you go. So look at the volume. I really think that gave it some really nice volume. And if you don't want that much volume, you can always use your tools again and make them flatter. You can put this in the middle. You want to put it in the middle. Do those butterfly. I mean, if you're gonna, this is okay. So this is already styled for my flip on the other side. But if you wanted to do right in the center, that's how you would style it. You would do part it in the center to begin with, and then we would take this, we would give it some more volume right there using the tool, and then have that come over like that. Look how pretty that would be. Isn't that a gorgeous wig? And I know a lot of people say the hair flippers, just use your tools and they won't fall on your face. You can always tuck this one behind the ear. Just do the one side. And I'm going to show you right now how I use it on my hair. So I'm going to take it off again. And since I use my own hair to blend with it, I'm going to cut this, and I'm not just going to cut it on the hairline. What I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see. Okay. So if you can look really closely, you can see that the hairline kind of goes like a W. Okay. And what I'm going to do is cut it so it just follows my own hairline. And I'm just going to do it like a half moon. So, like a half circle. So, I'm going to cut that middle part right here straight across. And I will, so let me get started and I'll just show you. Sometimes I have to go back and cut more off, but I always try to start with as minimal as possible. So, I go ahead and I'm going to clip. I look in the inside. The inside's easier to see where the knots are and where you're going to cut. So I always cut as close to on the inside, this part. I'll just follow that hairline, and any wave that is there, I cut that top, I cut it across the wave. So there's a wave here, right there. It goes kind of like up and down, because so it goes up, down, up, down. So I'm just gonna cut right across that first like little bump. And I'm gonna continue cutting any bump like any of the bumps off. So it just goes straight across. You can probably see it better this way. I'm just going to go straight across, cutting all those waves off. Then I'm going to start from the other side so we can cut the same amount off. We're going to cut that little piece there, and we're going to follow where the bumps are. We're going to cut the bump part off, and we're going to meet those two pieces together. So all right, so that's what we've cut off, and I'm going to show you like all like the little wavy parts. See? Okay. I'm going to look at my wig and make sure that any of the pieces aren't like super jagged. I don't like it to look jagged. Um, so let me go back through and check it. Or if it's not evenly across, I go back and make sure. See how that kind of still has a bump in there? Like it's curved. I don't like it curved. I have to go like straight across because that's how it blends with my hair the best. Okay, so I think I'm ready to put this on. Okay, so now you can see it's like straight. There's lace on all sides of it, but the top of it is cut straight across. Okay, so I see a little bit that looks jagged, so I'm going to cut that off. And we'll look at it when we put it on to see if. And the thing about if you're pulling your hair out and blending it in, it is a little more forgiving if you cut more off than you need to because you're going to be using your hair. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. See where the lace is now, how it's like pretty straight. I'm going to pull that all the way back, and I'm going to make sure it covers that wig grip. So the wig grip should be like right underneath it. Okay, so there's that. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. And I'll go ahead. I'm going to pull that out of the way. Now you're going to want to take your comb. I know this is actually getting really long, but if you guys want any more time on a specific part, just let me know. So okay, so you're going to start pulling your hair out. So I usually just all of this little part right here. So I just go like that, and I just go along the hairline, and I pull it out, and then I take it through, and I comb it. Okay, look at that. And I'm going to take the other side. I'm going to pull all of this out. I'm going to comb it up. I'm gonna pull all of that out. And look how it blends so easily with my natural hair. And because it's highlighted, if you have a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, that's not really gonna matter. Um, or if you have black hair, get wigs that are rooted in black. I mean, a lot of the wigs come rooted so that it is easier to blend. All right, guys. So almost done. Thinking it's looking really good. And you can see I can pull my hair right through it. And that's because we cut those layers. That's actually like almost right down the middle. Look at that volume. Oh, it's so pretty. Great. And so I usually comb it over. Get that going. Okay, so I feel some hair getting caught right here. So I'm going to go through this a little bit with my scissors. Okay, there's a knot there. I can feel a little knot. Okay, so I'm going to grab that and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to do that motion just on a couple of places. So like I'm going to start there and I'm just going to work my way down. Nothing huge. Oh, I actually had the scissors the wrong way, so it didn't really cut that much off, but remember your thumb needs to go in that one. So we're going to go there. And that's just going to make it so that it's not all one length. It's very forgiving. It doesn't take a lot of the hair out, just a few little pieces. And there we go. If it's too shiny, what you can also do is take a little bit of dry shampoo. This one does looks really shiny, but look at that hairline, guys. Look at that. And if you don't like the hairline showing at all, what you do is you kind of bring those two pieces and you can cut it so like maybe if you want bangs. I mean, if anything, but you can always manipulate these things and make them. You really want to just make them your own. So spray some dry shampoo on there. Oh, okay, well there we go, guys. Um, that's kind of my routine when I am starting off with a fresh new wig and how I style it and cut it to work with my hair and to blend it in. And look, you have your hair there. You can put it behind your ear if you want to. You can bring your hair out. You can put it like that if you want to. It really blends in like your own hair. It's crazy. I love them. So if you guys, again, if you guys are interested in either of these wigs, I'm going to put my Poshmark link below, and they are for sale for $100 there if you're interested. If you have any questions, let me know. Put them down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe please, because I'm going to be trying to make more videos and get some more content out there for you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.